You do.
Well, hello. We are now connected. This is Scotty and Kim, and I invited them here today to talk about 21st Century Cures. We recently passed this in the U.S. House of Representatives. I want to urge my colleagues in the Senate to act quickly on this bill. We need to get this to the President's desk. We need to get it signed into law so that we can actually move forward in helping people like Scotty and families like the White Cottons. This is something that I co-authored very early on, and at Kim's request, I joined the Rare Disease Caucus very early on as well. Scotty's got Hunter's syndrome, and that was something I'd never heard of before until Kim came to Washington, D.C., advocating not only for her son, but on rare diseases, and this was something that I felt very important to address. Over the years, you can see here, we celebrated Scotty's 18th birthday with Kevin McCarthy. This year, we celebrated his birthday with Speaker Ryan. But we're trying to make sure that not only is the entire House of Representatives aware of Hunter's syndrome and the rare diseases that are throughout our community, but that we're bringing greater awareness across the country as well. So, Kim, I sure am glad that you joined us today and that you made us aware of some of the challenges that you face. Thank you for inviting me out to Scotty's school and to play baseball with him and to join you guys at Halloween this year. But you have done so much to raise awareness, and I wanted to invite you here today to talk to the viewers here.
Well, thank you, Jeff, for being such a champion for Scotty and all the patients out there for rare disease. I mean, it's so awesome that you're involved, that you joined the Rare Caucus, and we truly, truly appreciate it from the bottom of our heart.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to talk a little bit about 21st Century Cures and what it means to you?
Sure. 21st Century Cures, we're completely grateful for the passing of it earlier this week. There's numerous provisions that would benefit rare disease patients like Scotty. A few of them being more funding. I think there's about $500 million funding for the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, and $4.8 billion for new funding for the NIH. So this is great news for rare disease. Get more money out there for rare diseases and establish some more trials. And this is what we need. We need more funding. It also allows more money for the FDA to recruit more employees that would work specifically in this area for rare disease. So they're really great to work with. We've been there. I think the last time I was there visiting you, we visited FDA, and we had a whole room full of them, and they're willing to work with us, and they're doing a great job. So it's awesome that they're going to have some more funding.
Thank you.
So we're excited about that.
And I've also got another photo here, Kim. This one's of you and your family growing up, and your brother. Do you want to talk a little bit about your brother? And
yeah, it's my brother. I have a twin sister, and above us, my mother had another set of twins that were boys. They were born in '61, and my brother, I think, believed that 5 was clinically diagnosed with MPS, but he was clinically diagnosed with the wrong one. Scotty's MPS 2, which is also known as Hunter syndromes. My brother was clinically diagnosed with MPS 1, which is Hurler syndrome. So there are different factors in each of them, but the mother carries the gene for Hunter syndrome. It's passed down through the mother, where it's not the case in MPS 1. So I think it'd been so long since my brother had been diagnosed. Unfortunately, he only lived till 12. And of those 12 years, 7 of them were in a state hospital in Porterville. So by the time my sisters had finished with their children, and me and my sister were a little bit younger, and Scotty came along, it'd been 30-something years. So nobody else in my sister's kids were affected, no girls. So I was quite surprised that Scotty was, and we started looking at about 1 when we started seeing symptoms, and I think we got the final diagnosis at 18 months. They had tested him for the original MPS 1 which I thought my brother had, but he ended up being MPS 2. So that was, was a big blow. Scotty's our only child. It's a big blow. We didn't know what it was, so I just put my heels on the ground and started advocating for him, looking on the disease. And I started when Scotty got in school advocating for education. And then at that point I decided I need to go bigger. I need to go bigger with the rare disease, and that's when I became a board member for the MPS Society, and I've been on that board I think almost 8 years now. I'm vice president. So there's a lot of good stuff going on, but we still don't have cures for our children. These kids are dying young, and they're dying often, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
So, we're working hard for cures. Scotty's got a treatment. It's not a cure. I think about 3 of our MPS syndromes, 3 or 4 now have treatments, but we're still looking for that cure for them. And what it's going to take is, funding from the FDA, NIH, and our researchers.
And without finding a cure, can you talk about some of the challenges that you face on a daily or weekly basis? I know I'm going to hold up this picture here. I visited you and Scotty in the hospital, but you were sharing with me that sometimes, when you and your husband want to take a trip or even go out on a date, the challenges that could arise with Scotty and his care.
Oh yeah, Scotty's 19, and my husband and I have not been overnight together in 14 years. It's hard to find people to, understand exactly what to do with Scotty. So Scotty started out as walking. He did have few words. He lost his mobility about 5 years ago. Last year he got a feeding tube, so he needs total 24/7 care. We did finally just get a nurse in March, so she comes in the evenings to help us out. But it's a lot of work we were up 3 times last night because his machines were alarming. So we live on very little sleep, so we're happy when our nurse shows up and gives us a relief. But Scotty's doing well. I mean, there are a lot of them that passed earlier. There's no giving time frame with these kids. They all have a different path they're following. So Scotty's probably one of the most severe at 19. But he's doing good. He still goes to school. He graduated last year. So as soon as we're done here, he's off to high school, a regular high school, and a special ed class. So we just live every day. You got to live it every day to the fullest.
Yeah. Well, God bless you. You're one of my heroes. You've continued to not only be a strong advocate for Scotty, but you brought so much awareness to our community, here to the other members of Congress. And, I'm very proud that we've passed this bill today. But we've got to, now the journey starts to make sure that there's not only more funding, but that we actually find a cure here. And I just appreciate all the time I get to spend with the both of you. And I'm going to hold up one last picture. This is Scotty at Halloween. We just celebrated Halloween with him, and the White Cottons always have great costumes for Scotty. He was a doctor this year, but I just enjoyed spending time with all of you and getting to know you better, but also getting to know others that may be in unique circumstances, like the White Cottons, but maybe fighting other rare diseases. And so you've helped open my eyes to a whole new community, but one that we've got to continue to work to find a cure. So, thank you.
Approximately 95% of the rare diseases out there have no approval, no treatment at all. I think they're the estimated 10 approvals of drugs per year. So you're looking at 500 years if you were to get treatment for all those rare diseases. We just don't have that time. So we need to, and hopefully this is, a step forward, in getting us there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us. Scotty, good luck at school today.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. God bless you.
All righty.